Cajun Cardboard here, coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. I know I may look a little haggard today. I've been a little bit under the weather, like I think a large percentage of our country may have been over the past 3 or 4 weeks trying to fight through this stuff that's going around this winter. But happy to bring you the next episode of Explore the Card. This is episode number 9. I'm going to shoot you over to the picture-in-picture with a thumbnail. We're going to be talking about the 1997 Hoops High Voltage and the Hoops High Voltage 500 volts parallel, which is a serial numbered parallel to the insert. As you can see, the picture of the card on the thumbnail is not mine. It was yanked off of somewhere on the internet. So I do not own either one of these cards in the base version or the high voltage 500 version. But anyway, that's what we're talking about today, and hopefully you guys are excited about episode number 9 and enjoyed episode number 8. But let's get cranking. And so first, let's start with the fact that this card comes from the 1997 Hoops set, which is a 330 card base set found in team alphabetical order. So the actual cards go in the order: Atlanta Hawks, Boston Celtics, whatever, things like that, which is not uncommon for sets from the 90s. The two most notable rookies from the 1997 Hoop set are going to be the same for all 1997 sets. That's going to be Tim Duncan, followed a distant second by Tracy McGrady. There are 15 total insert sets from this 1997 Hoop set. Some of the most notable insert sets are the high voltage 500 parallel, 911, which is a really cool insert set that I like. I don't have a single card from it, but y'all should check that out. Dish and Swish, Frequent Flyer Club, which a lot of people are familiar with because of the Jordan, and there's also the upgrade within that Frequent Flyer Club. Hooper Stars, which is a really cool die cut insert, and then Rock the House. Those are some of the more popular inserts from this 1997 Hoop set. I didn't realize how many nice insert sets there were in 97 Hoops, but those are a few for sure. The High Voltage is a 20-player insert set. It includes the big names in no particular order: Jordan, Kobe, Ray Allen, Penny, Grant Hill, Iverson, KG, Weber, Duncan, Rodman, Pippen, Sean Kemp, Karl Malone, and Olajuwon. That is a who's who of 90s basketball. 11 of the 20 players within the High Voltage set are Hall of Famers. High Voltage is inserted 1 in 36 Series 2 hobby packs. I could not find for the life of me. There used to be a great list of of pack odds for Jordan inserts, and me and a couple of my Jordan collector friends who are in a group chat were trying to find it, and it's been taken down from blowout forums. If anybody knows where it is or can point me to where it's been relocated to, please let me know. It was an invaluable resource, and it had hundreds of Jordan inserts and parallels in what their pack odds were, or estimated pack odds, with a great deal of research put into it. I'm not sure where it went, but I could not find it. So I do not know the pack odds for the High Voltage 500. Like I said, the High Voltage is 1 in 36, which makes the Jordan, since there's 20 in the set, 1 in 720. We don't know what the pack odds are for High Voltage 500, but they are significantly more rare than the High Voltage. I would assume it's much more difficult than 1 in 3,000 packs, based on a comparison of the ratio for the total number of cards, 500s that have been graded compared to the High Voltage. Hopefully that makes sense. Basically, we just looked at the graded pop report, and I kind of extrapolated from there and just prognosticated what that potential pack odds would be. That's a minimum. It is at least 1 in 3,000. It could be significantly steeper odds than that. I don't have this card, and normally I would just kind of gauge, bring you guys to my PWCC vault and show you this beautiful, high detailed image of a High Voltage or a High Voltage 500, but I don't have one, so we've had to go the old fashioned way. So we're just going to leave a thumbnail up on the screen here. What you see on the screen is the High Voltage 500. It's in a PSA 8 form, but basically it features Jordan taking a picture perfect jump shot on balance in his red number 23 uniform. The background is the swirl MC Escher looking artistic kind of spiral. The High Voltage version, however, has this cracked ice design in the background, which just makes it look significantly different. If you go here and you look at the regular, you'll see it's foil and it's refractor like. but it's significantly different. The high voltage version has this. I'm going to call it cracked ice because it looks kind of like the modern version of cracked ice. It's not exactly that, but it's that type of texture and that type of look. But here's the base version right here. Base version is also badass, also beautiful, refractor-like. Definitely refracts in your hands. But anyway, the backs of the card have the exact same narrative, and I always like to read the backs to you guys. And so you can see it says, of course, up here you can see at the top it's serial number 207 out of 500, this particular high voltage. The back is the same between both, so I'm going to read from the high voltage 500. It says electrifying, megawatts worth, at least 5 rings, 9 scoring titles, defense like you still don't believe from a player that good offensively. Michael's arguably the best player in league history, and he wears it well. Have you ever seen him not enjoying himself on the court? And yes, I can. The flu game would be one, and when his teammates don't do what he wants would be the other. But you get the drift. That's the back of the card. Let's get into some of the details. We always like to look at the pops and prices, and so I'm going to move this table over, and I hope I don't screw it up trying to move it back, but let's see if this worked. Hopefully that worked. Take a quick screenshot of this. Hopefully my picture-in-picture is still working over here. Let me see. Yeah, I should be good. Okay. So you can see I had to do my own work on this. Card Ladder let me down for the first time ever. They did not have PSA 10. They did not have the PSA 10 or PSA 9 for the high voltage base, and I'm not sure why. And for the high voltage 500, they didn't have it at all. So I was left to do a ton of my own research. Which is fine. I don't mind working for this because that's what I'm doing, and I'm learning as I do it. And this is a card I don't have, and I need to get it, so I want to know the data and I want to understand it. But here's your chart. I'm going to move the chart back over here so I can do my thing. But anyway, this card. Well, actually, I can leave this over here. Let me leave it over here for you guys, and we'll do it together. So as you can see, the Pop 13 for PSA 10 and the high voltage. Let's just talk about the base first because that's the more obtainable, more realistic card for most collectors, myself included. Pop 13, guys, not a lot of them. I actually made a run at this one right here that sold for $18,000 in the December PWCC auction. I think all of us who collect Jordans were extremely surprised that it went for so much. We did not see a jump that big. I don't think it had ever sold for $10,000 before that, and it jumped to like $18,000. At 125 graded, only 13 are PSA 10s, a 10% gem rate. There's just not a lot of them that have been graded. Between PSA and BGS, even this is just the base high voltage. Only about, 220 something, 320 something have been graded. 322. Did I do that right? I'm still a little under the weather. Help me if I didn't. Only 2 PSA 10s have sold in the last year. The average price is right at $16,000. So it sounds like there's your new floor. The last one sold at $14. The one from the PWCC sold at $18. So you're looking at a $14, $15, $16,000 card, y'all. The BGS 9.5 is about 3 times as common and about 1/4 as expensive. As you can see, the last one sold for $37.50. If you look at the change over the last year over here, you can see it actually went down a little bit. In the BGS form. There's no change over the last year for the PSA 9s because none of them had sold going into the year. So we don't have a comp to start with. But anyway, so you can see that chart right there. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm not going to spend as much time on this. You guys can read the chart yourself. You're reading the same numbers I'm reading. The fact of the matter is, this card's freaking rare. There's 50 gem mint copies in the world of a high voltage between these two grading companies. I'm sure there's some SGC and then some weird grading companies out there as well. But in PSA and BGS, which are the only two that I like to focus on, only 50 out there to get, guys. Looking at the high voltage 500, I don't have to explain how rare this is. It does strike me as odd that a card that's serial numbered to 500 could have such a low graded pop report after this many years. This is 25 years, after the card was released. Only 80 have still been graded by PSA or BGS. That's not pop 10s. That's graded, period. 7 gem mint between PSA and BGS 9.5. 7. That is not a lot. As you can see, the gem rate is very low. On this one, the gem percentage between PSA and BGS actually flip-flops, and the BGS is the gem for BGS is actually more rare. Whereas if you go back up here, you can see the gem rate for the BGS was twice as common for the regular high voltage, but in the 500, the BGS is more rare. That's odd to me. The last card, the only high voltage 500 that I could find, and again, I am not perfect, and I did not go crazy looking for this data, but the only one that I could find that has sold in the last year in BGS 9, PSA 9, BGS 9.5, or PSA 10 was this one BGS 9.5 that sold in June in an eBay auction for a whopping $25,100. That's a whale, fellas. That qualifies as Grail status for me. You start moving into the super upper echelon of Jordan inserts. And so this high voltage 500 is the real deal. The base high voltage, that's a big ass card right there. In BGS 9.5, it's, $3,750, $4,000, $5,000, whatever the case it looks like it's going to. A high voltage 500 is a whole nother animal here. You're talking a monster card. Comment what you think a PSA 10 would sell for. I've got on here that Card Ladder has a value of $61,000 for the PSA 10 high voltage 500. When I plug it into the sales history, when I've got it's got a 61,000 Card Ladder predicted value for the PSA 10. There's only been 4 sales since 2012. For the PSA 9, there's been 3 sales since 2017. If you guys think about that, that's 7 sales in any PSA 9 or 10 grade over years and years and years. It doesn't seem like this card should be that rare when it's got a 500 print run. I mean, think of like Take It to .net. It's got a 1,000 print run, and you see those all the time. This is nuts, though. I mean, this is like extremely rare. It just seems odd. I don't know if they're sitting in boxes or people threw them away or what, but it seems like we should see more. I'm not saying we should see a ton of them, but it doesn't seem like it should be this rare. It makes me wonder if they used all 500 serial numbers or they just forgot to print like 400 of the 500. This just seems too strange to me, but it is what it is. Let's talk about the hang on, let me move this off here for you guys. Okay. Let's talk about the what we see on that graph. Okay, so we saw the BGS 9 high voltage is up from 90 to 101. We're talking about the pop report growth. Okay, so people are trying to grade this base high voltage. 11 of them have showed up in BGS 9. The BGS 9 high voltage 500, one of them actually showed up. And so the pop report for the BGS 9 high voltage 500 went from 12 to 13 since April 21. No PSA 9s and no PSA 10s have been added to the pop report for the high voltage or the high voltage 500. Think about that. Not one single PSA 9 or PSA 10 has been added to the pop report for high voltage or high voltage 500 since April. That is rare to me. I don't know. That just seems odd. It seems like most people are going with BGS, and all of the BGS submitters are failing because they're coming back 9s. Not that 9's a failure on this card. Just saying, I'm sure they were shooting for 9.5s. No BGS 10s, no BGS 10 black labels of either high voltage or high voltage 500. Those don't exist, y'all. They've got there's 50 combined, like we said, 50 combined gem copies of the high voltage. And there are 7 combined gem copies of the PSA and BGS high voltage 500. 7 combined copies. That is nuts. We always like to look and see how often does it sell on the market, and we kind of talked about this. The high voltage gems have sold 9 times combined in the last year. That's between PSA and BGS. The high voltage 500, 1 time. The BGS 9.5 that we just talked about. The PSA 10 is 3 times more scarce than the 9.5 for the regular high voltage. Let's see, what else do we have on here? All right, let's talk about what's on eBay. There's 10 high voltage on eBay right now, or at the time that I was recording this. 7 of them were raw. There was an HGA 8, question mark, red flag. There was an SGC 9, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And then there's a GMA 9, whatever that is. So of the 10 on eBay, 7 were raw, an HGA 8, an SGC 9, a GMA 9. So no regular high voltage BGS, no regular high voltage PSA are even available on eBay. There is a high voltage 500 on eBay. However, if you want to be the guy that picks up the high voltage on the open market, which doesn't happen very often, it is listed for $29,000. Buy it now or best offer. So you're going to need 29 or somewhere close to that to pick up that PSA 8. Let's say you want to just pull this card from a from a Series 2 1997 Hoops hobby box. There's 0 for sale on eBay at the time of this research. Maybe one's shown up since, but at the time that I'm digging on this, there's not one. What do I own and what grades do I own? As I said at the inception, I always like to be transparent. I love this card. I need this card. I'd especially love to get my hands on a gem copy of the high voltage or any grade PSA or BGS of the high voltage 500. But as of right now, I own neither of none of nothing of nowhere. Would love to pick one up. Buy, sell, or hold. Obviously, I'm in the buy mode. I can't sell it or hold it because I don't own it. It's not crazy high on my list right now. I've got a lot of other things. I'm doing some set collecting and some set chasing. So I'm a little bit distracted there. And it's not in my personal top 10 empty slots on my Jordan PC that I'm looking to fill right now. It matters. If the card came across from a reputable seller or a friend of mine who's a seller that I know and trust that I could do something off eBay, I would definitely look into it. But this is not a card I'm going to chase right now in an auction house or on eBay. We always categorize these cards into low, mid, or high grail. And since there's a parallel here, we've already discussed it. The high voltage 500 in gem condition is clearly a grail card. It has exceeded 20,000 by some great degree. That's not coming back anytime soon. The high voltage base version is what I would qualify as a high-end MJ card, considering the PSA 10 is probably around 15, 16, 17, 18 grand, and the BGS 9.5 is around 4 grand. What are some similar cards? If you're trying to choose between inserts and parallels, sometimes you'd like to know what are you choosing between when you're looking at a high voltage. So we're talking about the base high voltage. You're looking at the PSA 10s are about the same as a 97 Metal Universe Championship Galaxy PSA 10, a 1993 Ultra Scoring Kings PSA 10, or a 1993 Ultra Power in the Key PSA 10. So those are some similar comps for the base high voltage in PSA 10 condition. For the high voltage 500, similar market value stuff, you're looking at some big dogs. The 1986 Fleer Jordan rookie sticker, PSA 10. If we're to believe Card Ladder's predicted value, which has a low confidence level, obviously, because there's not a lot to work with. You're just applying a sale in the distant past to an index. But that's kind of what you're looking at. The 86 Fleer sticker, you're comparing this high voltage 500 in gem condition to a 97 Metal Universe Platinum Portraits BGS 9.5. You're also comparing it to a 1998 Ultra Platinum Medallion numbered to 99 in gem condition. You know, those are some huge cards, guys. Those are some grail cards, and that's why this high voltage 500 in gem condition would definitely fall into the grail category. I mean, there are only 7 in the world. That really means something when you start talking about Jordans. I put the high voltage base card as a 7 out of 10 as far as relevance for Jordan collectors. I think it's a beautiful card. It's unique. It's identifiable. It's recognizable. The spiral foil background with the refracting is just really badass. The HV 500 is just another level, right? You know, that's a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. I think that's a card, if you get it in your collection, you just don't see it again. And I think that has a lot to do with why we've only seen one of those cards sell in PSA BGS 9 or up in the past, 4 years. One of them is sold that I could find, unless I'm missing something. Y'all help me out if I am. Comment below if I missed something. I'm not perfect. And I only got a week to figure out the research. So you guys help me out. Which one would you rather have? Would you rather have this high voltage would you rather have a high voltage 500 we're looking at here on the screen in PSA 10 condition, or would you rather have a Jordan Fleer rookie sticker, or would you rather have a Platinum Portrait? Would you rather have an Ultra Medallion? I'm curious to get everybody else's thoughts, and let me know what you think, where the high voltage fits on your list. Do me another favor, comment below what you would like to see in the next episode. I've got a few requests that come in. I love to get requests from you guys because I'm putting this out there so we can learn together. And I'm learning every time I do one of these videos. I would love to keep doing these videos for you guys, and it's no skin off my back to do the exact parallels and inserts that you guys want me to do, because half the time I don't have that card, and I need to research it and learn it and get to know it anyway. And I love spreading information about it. And when I do these videos, I'm getting all kinds of informative comments where I'm actually learning things about the card that I didn't know as well, or that I did not include in the video. So I really hope you guys get some help from this, but you're also providing me help, because some of the guys who watch this, I know for a fact, know a hell of a lot more about Michael Jordan card collecting than I do, because I talk to him on a daily basis. So I'm just happy to be a custodian of some Jordan information and keep putting this content out there for you guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you like the videos, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, ask me any questions that you got, give me any information you got, and give me some ideas on the next episode. And sorry, I am a little bit under the weather. I got a cough drop in my mouth now, trying to get the words out, and I look obviously a little haggard here. But hopefully you guys are doing great and having fun in the hobby. I'm starting to notice a little bit of a trend, guys. Cards are going up. I'm not talking about only Jordans. I'm talking about a little bit of a movement here that we're seeing, even in some modern stuff. Some of the a little bit more rare modern stuff is starting to move, and I don't mean the crazy high end, Doncic RPAs and Steph Curry RPAs and all that crap. I'm talking about like prospect cards that are unique cards. Those cards are starting to move a little bit. People are starting to focus a little bit less on football. They're starting to get back into the NBA. The NBA is starting to pick up some steam. I was just talking to some of my local collector friends here in Louisiana, and they're starting to see it as well. There's some more LeBron talk. People are confused because LeBron's tearing shit up, and the Lakers can't do anything right. But it doesn't look to be any fault of LeBron's. So that thing's going to break up. But there's a lot going on in the NBA right now, and there's going to be some real interesting trades come up. And when trades come up at the NBA trade deadline, all hell breaks loose with card prices. You guys know that. So keep your eye on it. Generally, I'll probably put a few videos out just talking about some of the movements that I'm seeing. But hopefully you guys like the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all of the great stuff. Can't tell you how much I appreciate the 134 of you that have subscribed to my channel. I really do appreciate it. And the overwhelming majority of the messages that I'm getting on Instagram and Facebook are really, really kind. So I really do appreciate you guys doing that. And hopefully I can keep making some great content for you. Sorry. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. Keep collecting. Peace.